This is Sean with Gate City Foundation Drainage. We are on a job today in Greensboro, so let's take a look. I was contacted by the pool company that put this channel drain in, and so we're going to be cutting through some concrete and adding to the end of it for a discharge. I wanted to show you this really quickly, and I want to come back to this in a minute, but look at right here how this channel drain is going straight across here. We'll come back to that in a sec, but what we're doing today is we're going to be basically pushing out through the concrete for a discharge. And I lost some footage, so I'm back over here trying to redo my intro. So let's take a look. This is a photo from when I met the pool contractor, and you can see what they had done here is they had cut around this area here. There's a shower right here and another shower right there, and there was this little tile landing, and they were going to put their channel drain around all these corners right here. So look at that. So you can see they were trying to do a hard 90 and a hard 90 and a hard 90 across there, and you can see the reason they did that was because they had these drains and this tile for this shower landing here. And so I instantly told them that a much better solution would be to go straight across here. And so that's what he ended up doing. So he liked the idea of going super straight instead of making all those turns. And so that's what they did here, per my recommendation. I lost some of my video files on this job, so I'm going to be doing some voiceover. And all we were hired to do was what you're seeing right here, is to attach the channel drain and then go through this area of concrete and discharge right there at the street. And so the concrete is basically just right there in the way of the channel drain, and so we're going to add a discharge through that pipe. After we score each side of the pipe with the saw, we're then going to pull the pipe out of the way, and then we're going to use the saw to make a plunge cut into the concrete and cut each side of our new trench that we're cutting out here. And so we do that with the concrete saw, and this is a handheld saw. It works pretty well in a small space like this. And then once we get the two edges cut, then we can go in there with the jackhammer and get the concrete jackhammered out of there. Going through a 4-inch slab like this works really well for our 4-inch pipe. We basically dig down just a little bit deeper and make some room for the pipe. So we're just cleaning up and test fitting our pipe here and getting everything ready to lay the pipe in there. This is a short section of the channel drain that the pool professionals used, and so this is a fitting from Lowe's, and you can see that they don't fit. So let me show you what I did to get these to fit. If you look on here, this inner side here is what's hitting on the channel drain, and it looks like this outer profile is the same. So what I did is I ended up cutting this inner one off of here, and for that I'm going to use my oscillating tool. Okay, and that, by luck, works. So I was really happy with that connection.
Cut it straight and then it will be coming out with that custom angle.
Yep, sounds like a plan. Since this is the important edge and that's the dummy edge,
yes,
I'd probably cut this first, because if you mess this up you can just come in 2 inches and then I'd cut that one.
Okay.
Once you get it cut nicely.
Alright, let's see.
Here what we're doing is we're using this piece of board to extend the angle of the curb. Since we cut the curb out of there, we don't have the angle anymore right where the pipe is supposed to be. So we've got the pipe laid out, and we're trying to keep everything straight, and we're trying to get a nice custom angle for that to look really nice coming out of there.
Beautiful. One for the dummy.
Alright, Ronald just got this custom cut here for us. So we tried to straighten up with the curb here, We used our piece of wood as a straight edge, and then he just went right along it. And look at that, nice cut. So that's what you call a custom cut. Nice work.
Thanks, sir.
Now that's the dummy side, so we'll get this in.
This end I'll mess up then.
We'll get this back just a hair inside the curve like we like it.
Okay, that way.
The guys who installed the channel drain were supposed to leave it stubbed out for us, but instead they surrounded it with concrete. And so Jeremy's got the rotary hammer there, and we're just having to chisel a little bit of concrete out from around the channel drain so that our fitting will fit up in there and seat the way it's supposed to. Ronald starts out by gluing in a Schedule 30 to Schedule 40 adapter there, and then that'll get into that adapter that I cut down.
Okay, now we got one shot at this.
Yep.
Y'all ready? Get your board ready.
Get your board ready.
Get your bow ready. All right, Jeremy, here we go.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw the extra grease to her. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right, line up, do what you gotta do. Put your board in, make sure we're right.
How's that?
Get the board.
We're ready for our concrete now, and so what we've done is we have cleaned up the area around where the concrete's going to go in. That's very important to get everything clean. And then we're using a fiber reinforced concrete mix. So it's just it's a really good concrete mix that is kind of expensive, but for a small patch job like this, you really want it to last and look good. So that's what we're working on here, getting the concrete in there and getting the pipe completely covered. We went and got some lunch and let the concrete set up a little bit. And so here I'm just taking this form off and I'm just doing a little bit of handwork where the curb was and trying to get everything smooth back out and looking really good around that pipe. We are finished with this job. So all we did was really extend the channel drain out to the curb, but that's what the company hired us to do. So I want to get over there and run some water in the channel drain and see how it did. I am back out here the next day and taking a look at this. And I've mentioned it before, but what happens is when I do a connection to a channel drain like this, sometimes some of the concrete residue gets inside of here. So I like to pop this up and just double check it after the fact. So that's what I'm working on today. Okay, so take a look in here. There's maybe a tiny bit of concrete residue. I'm just going to get that out of the way. Right there. But that looks really good. So, you may remember I had a job where I installed a channel drain and set it in concrete, and that residue leaked into the fitting and it caused a backup. And I had to go out there and fix it. And so I always check that nowadays on my channel drains. All right, I want to run some water in here. Now, we didn't install the channel drain, so I'm not going to come back out here during the rain, but I do want to run some water in here just to test our work. And so the water is already turned off to the pool house here. It's been winterized, so I've got water coming from one of the residents over there. And so let's just run some water in here and see if we can get anything happening. All right, look at that. All right, look at that. We've got some water flowing, so we should be in good shape. With that, we are finished with this job. All I have yet to do is go back and get some of that concrete residue up and clean it up a little bit. this was a pretty interesting job, and I've got a few other jobs for the same pool company. They have hired me to do a couple of big jobs and then a couple of smaller jobs like the one I just did. And so I'm waiting for some rain footage for the other jobs, the bigger ones. But this one, since we didn't install the channel drain, I just ran a garden hose in there. But this is a cool example of a contractor who really values the input that I have, and he's trying to give me some work. And so we've been working together and making his projects go a lot better too. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully we'll get some more out pretty soon as I can get some rain footage. Thanks.